Okay, so this is a loadout that we're going to talk about today that is pretty common and most people use, but this is one that was suggested multiple times by someone, so I want to make this video so that way they not only know, but you know, just in case you don't, that the Ice King is a pretty amazing constructor. Yeah, we're talking Ice King today. So let's talk about the loadout, what I use, and then I'll show you some gameplay. It'll be very brief, but will be some gameplay to kind of show off what Ice King can do. Okay, so Ice King is a permanent fixture in my hero loadout. I use him more than I want to, but it's not because he's not good. It's because I generally have to play him because I spend a lot of time helping other players. So I tend to get stuck with running, some of the constructors. But with that being said, I've got a lot of experience with Ice King, so I can talk about him. Ice King's ability as a commander is that enemies that are standing on structures affected by base are snared by 15%. That's also his standard perk, but his extra perk for being commander is that enemies that damage a structure affected by base are frozen for 4 seconds, and each enemy can be frozen once every 15 seconds. So there's an 11-second cooldown there for when they can be frozen again. Which is not a lot of time. I mean, every enemy can take extra, or be frozen again, an extra time every 11 seconds. It's crazy. So, the good thing about this too, though, is it's not just like walls or anything like that. It's anything they damage. So if they get on top of the base and they're trying to break down into, they still freeze. If they're on the floor and they're hitting it, they still freeze. So this is a good build for buying time, and with the way that Husk work now, they only have so much time that they can be attacking the base before they respawn. So that was Epic's way of stopping people from, jail building, but we can work around that now and just, hold them off long enough for them to respawn, and then, we get a new fresh set. So it still kind of works in our favor, but, you learn to work with what you have. So enough of that being said, I like to run recycling. This is just because generally I'm doing a lot of building and I want to get some of my material back. You can run other, things, but as a constructor, you really don't have too many options of stuff you can do. I mean, like a totally rocket out, you're not going to be out there doing tons of attacking. If you're running constructor, chances are you're the guy that is sitting back and doing some of the cleanup work and helping to keep your teammates alive and just focus on the base, right? So there's just not too much outside of that I would use. Maybe supercharged traps, so that way it increases the damage of traps that are affected by your base. But I tend to run recycling. It works for me. If I were going to run anything, it would be supercharged traps, though, outside of recycling. Then in our support team, we've got Mega Base Kyle, of course, to increase that connectivity range by 1. So that way more Husk will get affected if they attack the base. Base Kyle to increase the building health. Power Base Nox to increase the healing of the bases, the structures affected by base. And these 3 are pretty much a no-brainer when it comes to constructor builds. You almost have to have them or should have them. So I highly suggest that if you don't have these, you be on the lookout for them. All 3 of which can be researched without flux. Out of the it does take flux, but without hero voucher, you can research them, whatever, just save up the flux, save up everything else you need, and then you're good. So then I've got Machinist Harper for tough traps, which increases the trap durability. The reason for this, if you're wondering why I'm running recycling, but I've got Machinist Harper in here for tough traps, is because a lot of times with Ice King, I'm trying to run a build that's just going to slow Husk down. I'm not trying to kill every single one of them. I'm just trying to keep them held off from the base long enough to respawn and then do it over and over again until the end of the mission. So that's really all I'm doing here, and this will increase that durability. So floor launchers, wall pushers, things like that, ceiling drop traps, I just want to have more durability. And then I've got Demolitionist Penny for faster explosions, which increases the launcher damage by 17%. And I run this because I use the pot shot a lot with Ice King. I sit back and I just help my teammates. I shoot the smashers, whatever, and I want that extra damage from a distance, so I run Demolitionist Penny. Gadgets, Slow Field and Banner. Slow Field is great, especially when it comes to mini boss. Banner, a must have. It immediately, increases the building health, to 250% for 45 seconds in a 1-tile radius, so it's got to be relatively close. But it also does a small amount of damage, and the big thing is that it is a respawn point. So when your teammate dies or they get knocked, whatever, they'll respawn at you, and you will also respawn at your banner, so that way you can continue to fight quickly if enemies are trying to get into the base or whatever. So this is the loadout that I use. That's why I use it, and there are some other options out there, but this is just what I use. So if you ever want to see something else, you feel free to stop by Twitch, ask me to run something else, swap something out, I'll run it for you, and we'll give it a go. I'm more than happy to try anything for all of you guys. But let's get into some of the gameplay, which will be pretty brief, and then we'll get into that. Okay, so for the sake of this video and the fact that this isn't really a build to use to fight with, I've decided to go into a 108 retrieve the data cat 4. I say cat 4, sorry, 4-player, so that I can just shoot down the objective, and then we can start from there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just build something simple around it, so you can see how this works. Nothing spectacular here. Just very, very basic. But you can just see when they hit. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start this, just so we can. Alright, and then place our base. So you're going to see that all of these husks that hit this are going to freeze. There we go. Now they're freezing. I was wondering what was going on there and why they weren't freezing. But they're freezing. And then you just simply will, shoot these guys. If you got teammates, they can do the same. Add a little health to this. There's our banner. Give a little extra umph. But yeah, that's Ice King. I mean, not too much there. Not too much you can do as far as, just going in and going crazy on some husk or something like that. I wanted to do something very basic. Really with Ice King, the main thing is, using his ability to freeze and slow enemies to the point that they respawn. Or you have enough time to kill them without them breaking in. So that's kind of what we're doing. Every one of those that hit, they have that second, then they freeze, and then it just gives us more time to shoot them and clear out the husk, as well as allow the building to repair itself. So yeah, that's it. All right, everyone, that's Ice King. Like I said, nothing too spectacular, but is definitely one of the heroes and constructors that you want to have and use. He will be out if you don't have him this winter. I would highly suggest that you get him. He's probably my favorite to run. If I have to run a constructor, I like running Ice King because I like freezing them and having the opportunity to shoot while they're frozen. So if someone on my team is already running an Ice King, I obviously will opt for like Kyle or Power-Based Nox. But if I have to play solo, or I'm playing with someone who doesn't have any of those constructors or doesn't have Ice King, that's the one I run. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you have any comments, any feedback, anything like that that you want to add, please be sure to comment down below, as well as come check out our live streams over on Twitch, where we do a lot of things. I mean, just really a mix of everything, helping people with MSK, helping people in ventures, running loadouts for people to kind of try before they buy, sort of thing, and upgrade. So yeah, we do a little bit of everything. If you want to see it, just come check us out. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.